Perfect. So this was my intro. We already discussed. So today we'll discuss about the Dreamforce keynotes and then we'll proceed with the winter announcements. So firstly, there are a few keynotes which I already showed over here. The very first is Einstein One platform. I know most of us know about the Dreamforce, but basically, not everybody in India, or we can say not all of us know about what is Dreamforce. So basically, let's start with a little kind of definition. So basically, Dreamforce is an annual event that brings together the global Salesforce community for learning, fun, community building, and philanthropy. And now let's go with the keynotes. Very first is Einstein One platform. Einstein One platform is very new to me. So you can say that this is totally a adventurous kind of thing for me. So I'm right now learning about it. So let's describe it. Firstly, it allows companies to safely connect any data to build AI-powered apps with low code to deliver CRM experiences. So that's the basic benefit of Einstein One platform. New Einstein One Data Cloud is now natively integrated. So that's the second benefit of this one Einstein One platform. That's why it was discussed over there in the Dreamforce 2023. So basically, what it will do, it will give companies the ability to safely connect with any data or with the customers to connect with any data to create a unified profile of their customers and infuse AI, automation, and analytics into every customer experience. So that's a huge, we can say, advantage of this one facility, which was discussed in the Dreamforce 2023. Now, let's start with the Copilot Studio. So basically, what is Copilot Studio? It is also, we can say, Einstein One Copilot Studio, which was announced in the Dreamforce 2023. It has basically three components, or we can see three features which are involved in this. Very first is, you can see Prompt Builder. The second one is Skills Builder, and the another one is Model Builder. So basically, these three are the basic, we can say, parts of Copilot Studio, which was introduced in Dreamforce. So the prompt builder is for customers who want to customize the prompt templates. The basic use of this is the same. Second one is the skills builder. So basically, if templates or we can say prompts are there, so definitely skills builder enables companies to add action to those prompts. So we can say it is directly connected to prompt builder. The third one is model builder. The final piece, we can say the last piece or last stage, which brings our own model, or we can say use one of the supported third-party offerings like Anthropic, Databricks, Google Cloud's Vertex AI, and OpenAI. There are many more. The third one is free data cloud and Tableau licenses. This was the huge, or we can say the very good keynote, which I mentioned over here. Why? Because this is, we can say, an exciting news for trailblazers around the globe. Why? Because Salesforce have announced free licenses of Data Cloud and Tableau for all customers who are on Sales and Service Cloud. So basically, whoever is using Sales and Service Cloud, or we can say enterprise or unlimited licenses, this is the basic advantage for them. This free package includes 2 free Tableau Creator licenses and Data Cloud licenses for up to 10,000 profiles. So that's the basic advantage of this one facility. This package massively eliminates the barrier for entry for both companies who wish to understand the power of Data Cloud and Salesforce professionals. Why? Because there is the free license for both of them. And now who want to advance their career learning this, they can directly learn this new one skill set which is over there. Now let's proceed with the Marketing Cloud. So basically Marketing Cloud and Commerce Cloud, these two, originally the Marketing Cloud was Exact Target and the second one Commerce Cloud, it was originally Demandware. Now they have changed their name to different one, Marketing Cloud and Commerce Cloud. We directly known them as this one name only. So these tools were acquisition Salesforce made. They were not directly to the Salesforce made acquisitions for them. And these are incorporated with the core platforms via connectors. We can directly say these are plug and play or pre-built APIs we directly use for them. Now we can directly see that these two are directly moving to Data Cloud. While it is still going on to be a few years before Marketing Cloud and Commerce Cloud are fully migrated. So basically, we can say it is already coming to a core platform, which is generally known as data cloud. And that will be definitely doing a huge impact in the future. That's for sure. Now, let's come to the data cloud trigger flows. So data cloud trigger flows, whoever like used to it using the data cloud, they generally know about this. But let's say I am also newbie to the data cloud. So let's explain what is data cloud. So basically, data cloud is the data model object or contains a data model object where we calculate insights of the objects. Or we can say whenever the conditions will meet, the triggered flow will launch whenever the data cloud or data model object will be calculated. In simpler terms, we can say like with either a change in the data, or we can say either in a change of the calculated points, it will directly trigger the criteria. On the basis of that, the flow will run. Or second, we can say we could use a calculated insight to assess the performance of products on our website in terms of customer purchasing and browsing behavior. For example, we can say, let's say like, yeah, should a threshold to be reached? Like this calculation can perform over there, such as a low inventory, or we can say an automated action, or can be activated through like whatever we want to do, automation kind of thing. We can directly use data cloud
Excuse
triggered
me,
flow.
Meenakshi, are you are
Uh,
you are you doing some demo?
no.
Okay, yeah, just checking.
Yeah. Is it audible? Hello.
Yeah.
Is it audible?
I mean, are you doing any like a demo like in the org, or you just talk about the point right now?
No, I will talk about the parts because data cloud was not set up in my org, so that's why I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
about to do a demo.
Okay, I'm
Is it
just
okay?
checking. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
go
sure.
ahead. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So basically, all this is possible just because of data cloud. So we should thank to the data cloud. And this is definitely the new terminology to me because I am right now learning about the data cloud and ancient one. These two are the basic, we can say, uh, trending platforms in the Salesforce right now. So let's start with the next one, which is Slack innovations. We all know that Salesforce has occupied the Slacks, but Slack, the main basic benefit of Slack is allowing customer to maximize the value of their investments. What we can do by using this? By bringing a good number of new Slack capabilities into Salesforce products and industry clouds. So basically, you can see here is Salesforce plus Slack. It means teams can also make decisions better now. And second one, fastering by collaborating in Slack channels and streamlining the workflows which are built around the CRM data. So basically, we can say this was the another one keynote which was discussed over there in the Dreamforce 2023 because we can see in most of the companies we generally use Slack. So it's a daily kind of thing where we generally use Slack for collaborating and each and every part, or we can say mainly the daily task of our companies are based upon this. So basically we can say to deepening the customer relationships or ensuring that valuable feedback is there or information is quickly surfaced, we can say it's another advantage of Dreamforce. Now let's see data graphs and data cloud. Any one of you know about the data graphs? Anyone?
We heard about it. Tell us more.
Okay. So basically, let me tell you. So data graph is a concept in data cloud. What is a data graph? Basically, you can see this is a kind of graph. Okay, data graph. It's a picture. I clicked it somewhere. So data graph is an object that stores the data that take house objects as nodes and relationship between those nodes are edges. You can see in directly the picture, right? This is the kind of graph we can say. So basically you can see the data graph, it is heading over here and these are the nodes or edges we can say. So there are different we can say particles of data graph are represented over here. So basically data graphs are a way to visualize the data which are available for Einstein to answer a user's question in the prompt builder or assigning the skills in the skills builder. So whoever is very pro in the data cloud, it is very easy for them to understand the things which I'm talking right now. But let's say if a newbie comes, then firstly he or she needs to understand what are the basic elements of the data cloud. Then only they should jump on the data graph. So basically, we can say this is the another advantage in the Dreamforce or which was discussed. And basically, we can say Salesforce is enhancing its capabilities, right? Or we can say the capturation of the market growth, it totally relies because Dreamforce every year releases these kind of keynotes and they are very beneficial for all of us. And from the data cloud UI, we can directly see that several data model objects can be created in an individual or we can say in a unified way. Or we can say that browser history or generating a new data graph that takes the data from all three DMOs. They can perform the hierarchical relationship as well. You can see over here. There are fields and filters means many new things are we can say announced in the Dreamforce. So if whenever we are working on the data graph, we can directly get used to it and we can understand it better as well. So this is the another one, which is Salesforce AI power to create a million jobs by 2028. How many of you trust this one sentence which was discussed in the Dreamforce? Because as we all know, AI is replacing most of the jobs. But let's say the Dreamforce, it has discussed over there that it will create the 18 million jobs by 2028. I hope this must be there in the 2028 because it's now a kind of, we can say, fear in mostly developers, architects, or admins that their jobs will be taken off because AI is there. But let's hope that it will be in the good way or positive way. This job span a wide range of industries, as I read, and the impact is felt across both developed and emerging economies as well. So basically, from data scientists and AI engineers, we can say, like in Dreamforce, it was discussed that AI ethics specialists and industry-specific AI consultants will be there, and they will be definitely the new jobs will be landing soon. Now, let's come to the another one, which is tenets of trusted, ethical, and humane AI. So basically, it is different, we can say, the core of the Dreamforce, and it was discussed. We can say the recent Dreamforce, it was totally, we can say, based upon the AI or Einstein or the AI power. So basically, the basis of the Dreamforce was AI only. That's why everything we are seeing in this one PPT or in the keynotes, this is related to AI only. So at the core of Salesforce pioneering initiative are its standards of trusted, ethical, and human AI. These are the principles and they guide all of their innovations as well. So basically Salesforce firmly believes and being transparent about how AI is used in its products and services. That's why it is launched. So now it was a most sustainable Dreamforce ever. Why? Because Dreamforce wouldn't be Dreamforce without embodying each of its Salesforce values. That's why we call like it was sustainable Dreamforce ever. Why? Because with sustainability as Salesforce with the core value, it is setting out to make this as the most sustainable Dreamforce ever. Why? Because Salesforce is conserving resources, sourcing, responsibility, reducing waste, and inspiring our attendees to do the same. So that's why, as per my understanding, and as I read, it was the most sustainable Dreamforce ever. Sorry. And why? Because the main basic benefit, which we already discussed, which was regarding the data cloud and data graph. And second one, the Salesforce AI power to create 18 million jobs. And the third one, we can directly see tenets of trusted, ethical, and human AI. So basically, Dreamforce is a full combo where we can say all the Salesforce, we can say values are directly discussed, or we can say are given importance. That's why it is a sustainable Dreamforce ever. Now, let's proceed with the 2024 releases. Okay, these are the basic releases which I took, and these are only a few. Okay, I did not include many of them, only a few are included. So let's discuss the Einstein for service. Many of you have used Einstein, I hope, or ChatGPT, or like any kind of AI. So basically, Einstein for service is a powerful set of time-saving AI feature that support our agents, whoever is using the service cloud, in providing excellent service experience. So we can directly say many examples are there, like Einstein boards, Einstein cache classification, Einstein case wrap-up, or Einstein article recommendation. These all are used in the service cloud only. Whoever is working on service cloud, they can directly see over there. Now the second one is sales emails. So basically, whoever is working on Sales Cloud, it is very beneficial for them because it is enhanced version, we can say. So how we can achieve this? We can directly go in the sales emails in the setup, and then we can directly assign a permission set to our sales representative. If you are using Gmail or Outlook, email integration, or we can directly add the Einstein sales emails over their component to customize the email application. We can directly do everything by going into the setup. These are very basic steps. If anybody wants, then I can provide it to them because I already set up this in my org, but I lost access to that one also. That's why I was not able to show you this one demo. So now let's discuss the data cloud triggered flows. We already discussed in the Dreamforce keynote. It is the same thing. So basically, data cloud triggered flow launches when the data cloud data model, or we can say DMOs, are calculated inside objects or conditions are met. Like generally, the flow will launch only when the conditions are met. This is the same thing over here, but it is only depends on the data cloud. That's a different thing we can say. Or whenever either a change in the data point or anything is happening over there, then it will trigger. So this is another Salesforce release. Now
Question.
let's proceed.
We have
Hello.
a question. Yeah, we have a question.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just wondering about data cloud. I don't actually know what it is. Is it something that I have already when I have Sales Cloud? Or is it something extra that I would purchase or add?
Okay, so please correct me if I'm wrong. You were asking that data cloud is same as there are many different cloud in the Salesforce. Is it different from another? Is it the correct one?
No, it's question who
Could
has
you
it at
please-
this moment.
could you-
Let's do the, Fred will go in details in next presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'll get into more detail.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes, that'll
and-
answer.
yeah, and you don't have it.
Okay. Definitely. So I actually have a question about one just before that, the email. So the email capabilities, does that come with sales engagement, the sales engagement package that you can install?
Hello.
Can you hear?
Yes, I'm here. Could you please repeat?
You might need to repeat the question.
Is the email,
Or
You might-
just ping in the chat because I don't know, but it is like echoing. That's why.
She's
If it is
asking. She's asking
Mhm.
if the email is coming in the service cloud.
so in
Enhanced.
email, is that with the one that you referred to, the enhanced email? Is that the one that you, sales engagement? You need to install sales engagement to do that. That's the one?
Okay, okay. And what's the second one?
No, okay, just, that's okay. Don't worry. Thank you.
No, I got your question. You were asking that if an email is coming in Service Cloud, do we need to install the service engagement, right? You asked that one question.
No, to get the capabilities that you were talking about for email, enhanced email. you-
Okay, got your point.
Do I need to install, is the enhanced email that you refer to, is that the one that's part of sales engagement?
No, as per my understanding, no. Why? Because basically, as I read, we can directly achieve this by turning on the sales email in the setup, and then we can directly assign a permission set to our sales representative. That's the basic, we can say, flow they have given right now. If there any kind of installment, then definitely there will be the description for this. because I directly read it from the Salesforce release only, but it was not mentioned over there. That's why.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the another one is Slack Sales Elevate. So Slack Sales Elevate is an add-on for Slack, which we generally use, that deeply integrates with Salesforce Sales Cloud. That's why it is named as Sales Elevate, and allowing team to centralize information and processes directly in the Slack. And with Slack Elevate, we can directly view and update Salesforce opportunities in the Slack. Second one, we can directly create custom notifications to simplify administrative tasks and keep you on track towards your goals. So definitely it's a huge benefit for all of us who are using the Sales Cloud. Set up key metrics to gain insight into your individual or team performances. Definitely this is another advantage of using the Sales Elevate. So we can directly use it whenever we are working on the Sales Cloud. Now, the another benefit which I love the most, which is Pay Now for Salesforce Starter. So why? Directly we can now use the Pay Now to create and send reusable payment links to our customers from any Salesforce app, such as Field Service or Sales Cloud. Okay, this is the huge benefit I can say, because right now I am in the use to it, or we can say like I am just gaining like what are the things over there in the Pay Now in Starter, because this is totally a huge we can say advantage Salesforce has given us in the latest releases. So the payment link, what it will do, the payment link will directly directs to our customers to our branded, or we can say mobile responsive Pay Now web pages, okay, where they can directly complete their payment for goods and services what they are using. A payment link will be associated with any Salesforce object. Okay, this needs to be set up, but we can say it's a very boom in the current environment. Okay, because it was released recently, so definitely it will be a huge impact. Now let's come to the another one, which is Salesforce Backup, or we can say this is the last Salesforce release from my end. Salesforce Backup, why I included? Because basically previously it was backup and restore. If any of you used it, then previously it was backup and restore managed package, but now it is called as Salesforce Backup, or we can say it has changed the terminology of Salesforce. Now, more improvements makes it easier to safeguard our data from loss and corruption. Definitely in version 2.6, we can now directly export our data backups within a click of a button. Many of us uses the backup and restore previously, but now it has changed a little bit in the name only. Okay, and there are 2 or 3 things which are added on, which I directly told you, which is exporting the data backups, and directly we can do it with a click of button. Now there is also another one improvement in app messaging and documentation, which helps us to spot issues that block restoring data directly in the app. So definitely we can say these all Salesforce releases and the Dreamforce keynotes, they are directly setting an examples, or we can say setting the huge levels of Salesforce in the market area, and definitely it will directly improve, we can say, whatever the market cap of Salesforce is over there. And third one, yes, we all trailblazers, so it's a definitely guarantee from the Salesforce, like it will directly release the things which are very beneficial or helpful for all of us. So guys, this is all from me. I know there were too much theory, but I was not able to show any kind of demo over here because I was not able to access my org. I don't know why, but no issues. I hope this was a very easy and simple session from my end. And if there is any question, then you can ask.
Yeah, thank you for the quick overview. And there are a lot of like new functionality for sure. And I wasn't aware. Then one question for the Salesforce backup, and is that generally available now, or it's still like, because I know that functionality was in beta a couple of years ago.
Could you please repeat it again?
Salesforce backup, is that functionality like generally available now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what was the second one part of this one question?
No, just one question for the.
Okay, okay,
functionality.
okay. Okay, fine. I was about like, okay, fine, you will ask the second one part as well. Okay, so as per my understanding, I think it has to be like implemented in the orgs, because I just tried it in my sandbox, but it was not working over there. It was the fully sandbox, so might be it is not available right now, but definitely it will take time and it will be available to all of us. And there is also, like, we all are trailblazers, so there will be new functionality which will be roll over. It will be over there, I can't disclose. Okay. So it will be over there, so that's the second one benefit. We need to wait for that.
Thank you.
I hope everything was clear over there.
Yeah, great. And any quick questions or online? Anybody online have questions? Yeah.
If anybody, yeah, is there any question?
Looks like everybody good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys, and thank you so much for giving your time to me, and thank you for giving this kind of opportunity to me. And I would try that I will make in my suitable time as well, so I can turn on the video and directly like look into the people. Okay, fine, I can directly interact with them, because I know I turned my video off. It's too night over here, that's why.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, thank you for speaking with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Share my screen. Right. Menu controls. Where's, okay, why am I not feeling controls then? Okay.
In the middle.
Okay, I got my controls back. Okay. Yeah, I got it now.
Got it.
It took me a little bit. 2 versions going. Okay, sorry about that, everyone.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and put this in. Here's my, oops, sorry about this. Okay.
Double click.
No. Where's my, oh, okay. I blanked it out because it's covering it up. All right, thanks, sorry about that. So afternoon, everyone. My name is Fred Tchang. I'm a Salesforce administrator at the Canadian Real Estate Association. I'm really excited to be presenting to you guys today about Data Cloud. It is a fun topic because it's new. I will say, though, that I expect that most people will not use Data Cloud. It is a niche product. It's definitely a very unique need. But I thought, you know, I think everyone needs to know about Data Cloud. And I think that you can learn things from Data Cloud. I think there are interesting things you can learn about data architecture from Data Cloud. I've heard the quote, you know, the last thing that fish scientists would discover would be water. Fish scientists, if fish live in water, right? The last thing they would discover is the water. How does that relate to Salesforce? If you've worked only in Salesforce, you haven't worked in other databases, other platforms, other data systems, you would not necessarily realize some of the data structures that we have, the way that we structure data. Once you work with integrations, other platforms, and bring data into Salesforce, then you're like, ah, I see. The way we have contacts and accounts and all the standard objects and custom objects set up, that's the way Salesforce does it. It's not the way everything has to be. And you realize that you start to learn more about data architecture. And I relate that to Data Cloud because I think Data Cloud is very much about bringing data in. It's about bringing data into Salesforce of all kinds, but unifying it into a canonical data model that you can act on. Okay, that's really what Data Cloud is about. So when I say all kinds of data, what am I talking about? So there's identity data, like who someone is, purchase data, right? What are they purchasing? And purchasing does not always have to be money, right? So they're making choices, if they might be taking classes, things like that. Case data, right? Support. Web and mobile data, right? How are they interacting? Now we're talking about first party, right? We're no longer in a third party world. Now it's all first party, which means websites and apps and things that you own. You can get the data about your users. You don't have easy access to third party data the way we used to. Health data, that's very niche. Engagement data, right? So how many people here support some sort of marketing platform? Good number of people, okay? So marketing platforms, what kind of data do they?
Clicks.
Yes. Yes. A lot of activities that people are doing, and they know who's doing it, right? For the most part, right? It's not anonymous. So you have all this engagement data, right? We want to, with Data Cloud, we want to be able to bring it together and not only bring it together, but act on it. And bring it together in a way that is understandable to your users and useful to your users. Now, I learned a couple of, now I'll say this, I was telling Claire this before. I'm just a member of the user group, right? I'm not an expert on Data Cloud. We started using, I joined a company some months ago that's just starting to use Data Cloud. So I'm starting to learn. So I'm starting to learn a bunch of terms right now, but I thought, you know what, I think this is useful. I want to share it to other people. I want to encourage each of you to think about what could you present on to our user group? Something that you've worked on. And it might be only 15 minutes. Maybe it's just something interesting you did. Because we each have something to share. I think we each have something to share that's useful. And it just makes the group more fun if each of us comes along and presents something. And so I want to present that as a challenge to you guys.
You can tell us about email.
There we go. Now we learned. Right, there we go.
No, you didn't mean now. It's more like.
It's coming. Next meeting?
I will do next meeting.
Okay. All right. You have that.
No pressure.
So I haven't worked with data lakes and data warehouses, but that's really interesting now. I understand them a little bit more. Okay. So who here has actually worked with data lakes and data warehouses? Several people. Very good. Okay. So what is a data lake and what's a data warehouse? You want to help us, Nash?
I would say data warehouse is more structured than data lakes. Data lakes is structured information.
That's right. So, and actually, I should check on the group. Is everyone okay with hearing if someone else is talking? And if you,
Andrew, can you hear us when we are chatting around?
I'm gonna check the chat.
No, it's not very much
10-4.
clear.
All right,
So
good.
it
Good.
feels
All right.
like it's
So I wanted to check on it. So yes, so data lake just brings data in. Like it's fast and it's dealing with just millions of records and it just brings data in. But a data warehouse is structured data. And so I think when we think of, at least when I've talked to people, again, I'm not an expert on data cloud, but when I've talked to people, they've described data cloud as larger than that really. Because while it does bring data in and it does structure the data, it also allows you to act on the data. Okay. Oops.
So, excuse me, is the data warehouse I know data lake is part of the data cloud. Is data warehouse part of data cloud?
Well, these are concepts, really. These are concepts, I would say. They're labels of types of products. So data lake means that you bring in a whole bunch of data. And that's true although Salesforce will also say you can bring your own data lake. So if you have a data lake, no problem, that's fine. We'll use your data lake, okay? Especially if it's, for some reason they like Snowflake. Is it because they have a financial relationship with them? Or they just have a really good structure to their data? I don't know.
And nowadays,
Okay, it's one of the most common uses. Okay, all right. So they have certain relationships with certain data lakes, right? Or people who are known as selling data lakes. But a data warehouse is more structuring the data, and so definitely Salesforce is doing that. It is definitely adding structure to your data.
So the way to look at it is just trying to get the idea of the difference.
Yeah,
You could say a Salesforce org is an example of a data warehouse, right? Because it's pulling in metadata. It's organizing.
because the problem with I'm not as technical here, but the problem with Salesforce is that it's not made for massive processing of data. It's
Right.
made for showing you the right data at the right time. The structure is different.
Salesforce is not data warehouse,
No.
in my opinion. Because you can limit storage, it's
Yeah.
expensive, there is all kind of things that there, but Salesforce is your functional source of the truth.
Right.
When you're doing it.
Yeah, because the data like.
In data warehouse, you will have 30 years of history.
Okay.
Just like
In
I see.
Salesforce, you wouldn't keep this.
Okay, it's more of the
You
repository.
need to have retention policies in Salesforce.
And traditionally, like you'd see Salesforce as something that feeds into a data warehouse, right?
Right.
It's especially in like an organization that maybe adopted Salesforce, but they've got 3 or 4 other systems going on, and you're trying to get a unified view of something that happens at this stage of the process, but Salesforce is here and there's stuff that happens afterwards, put it all into one data warehouse. More for like kind of old school flat reporting. That's how I think about data warehouse, like 4 or 5 databases in a structured way feeding in.
Mhm.
Can't talk much about the data lake, but it looks much more random and yeah,
Unstructured.
unstructured.
So can I ask
Yes.
another question?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm glad to see that it's interactive. That's great.
The way I like it. I don't want to just talk. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So back in, 20 some years ago, I was working at a high-tech company and we had SAP, and a lot of companies that have some type of ERP system, whether it's SAP or whatever it is. So is SAP and all these other things, is that considered the data warehouse?
No, I think of them as similarly to Salesforce, and that they're highly structured. And they're not made, I mean, I guess they do have a lot of data, but I don't know, behind the scenes, like the actual engineering of these things, how they're different, I don't know.
But I think on the end, underneath is database engine. that's
Yeah.
behind it. It's just how you use this and what's the purpose of it. In some ways, you will say Salesforce is made for do fast and furious, make money, have it under control. If you want historical trends and things like that, you structure your warehouse to pick up those key elements that you measure. And you have years and years of history that you can leverage down the road. Also, you do your reporting there instead of using this engine that needs to be fast and furious and slow it down with reporting processes behind on server. You use your warehouse for reporting what can have time and resources to do it, while
Yes.
you keep resources for something.
Yeah, my understanding is like Salesforce currently like Salesforce basically it's on application level, and the database is not for high performance data retrieve. Think about like when you are running a report, right? A lifestyle report, how long it takes you to load. So the data cloud right now, they rebranded the whole database as another like fast, like a high performance database, and especially with the emergence of AI, and they want to surface all your data from bottom up, and to have the data service to you as a user faster and more efficient, compare with old way we are running report. Yeah, a dashboard report, how long takes to load, right? You can imagine.
Yeah.
At the old way, like when we are running thousands of rows of report, it takes you like 30 seconds even, sometimes, or even 1 minute. Yeah.
I would say that, so the data warehouse is more like, you're gonna get media records, let's say. And you wanna know, who's this person, where they live, what's their phone number, and then what did the last 3 things they did. And then, what's their, some other unrelated thing. If it's a data warehouse, it goes to the person thing, so their phone number. And then it says, related to this is another record in this one, and this one says what they did. And then we're gonna go, that takes a long time, like Oracle.
Okay,
This tags that one person with all of those things, and it can live anywhere. It's got lake, right? So it lives out there, but it can also always go get that because it doesn't have to go like to link. It doesn't have to link. It also, each object has its own attributes, and it can just be in them, and then it can get.
okay. So I think this is a lot that we're all learning because Salesforce is bringing Data Cloud up as a major product, and because beneath that is the need or their desire to bring AI into Salesforce, and thus the need to have large amounts of data to be able to make calculations from. And of course, this is what I love about having user groups, because you have a lot of different people with a lot of different experience and bring that together. I wanted to talk a little bit about data architecture through the lens of Data Cloud. So when they look at the 3 things that how they describe Data Cloud working, right, or its main functions, right, to connect to other systems, right, to harmonize data to a canonical data model, right, and to activate, which to them is to act on, right? To have things that happen as a result of your data. Right? So when I think about this, to connecting to data, so the first thing that Data Cloud does is ask you to categorize your data. It's extremely broad right now. Oops, I forgot my bullets there. So the first thing is profile data, right? So is this profile data? So this is really about the individual. And I think you could think of it like a contact record, right? The kind of things you might have on a contact record, right? Everything we know about a person. Versus engagement data, this is always based on a date. This is one of the structures that they've built in, is it's always based on a date of interaction that does not change. So whatever interaction, whatever engagement they had has to be, usually you're using some sort of create date, right, to populate that. And these can be, of course, very large data sets, right? Because engagements, it could be just thousands, millions of times when some people are engaging with you on all different platforms. And then other is really just other kinds of data, right? And they just wanted to, I think they really wanted to pull out the profile and the engagement data. And then they just give you a way of saying, okay, any other data you want to bring in.
Can I just ask a clarifying point?
Yes.
Profile data, is that the equivalent of an individual person contact, or is
Yes.
it more like personal?
No,
The type, okay.
individual. It's really about the individual.
Profile could be-
Yes. And of course, what profile data is going to lead to is the idea of a unified profile, right? The idea that you can have a record of a contact in Salesforce, or you can have subscribers in Marketing Cloud. You can have other systems, your own website, logins, your mobile app, whatever other platforms people are using and interacting with. They might have individual IDs at different times. And so we're going to create individual records out of those. And here's something I should explain to back up a little bit. Data Cloud is its own platform. It's actually a separate platform. When you look at it, you'll look at it in Salesforce Core. Like it'll be an app, Data Cloud, and it'll have its tabs. And I can show you. But the data actually lives somewhere else. And it has, and I didn't want to, I knew this was going to be introductory kind of session. I didn't want to get into the actual data, full data architecture of Data Cloud. But it does create, for example, an individual record, which sort of corresponds to contact, but it's its own record. And you'll see, I'll show you a little bit of that. So data categories, now harmonize. Now harmonize can be many different, you can be harmonizing more than just the individual, but that's the key one that people want, right? Harmonizing data means bringing it into the canonical model. When I say canonical, the truth, I don't actually know how other data warehouses work. Do they bring a model and then you can create your own model? Is that how it is?
You always have to decide, you always have to do the hard work of deciding.
Or are they just blank slates?
They usually have some like some predefined data sets that you can
Okay.
put together, and then you can create your own data sets.
Okay. Okay.
That's my experience.
Well, they're very much trying to want you to try to use the standard one because they're building based on that. So, so anyway, so the individual is the main the way you think about a person, right? But you need to know that even though this is called an individual object or table, you can have a person can have multiple individual records. That's by design. That's normal. So it's like a contact in that sense. There can be multiples.
Like a duplicate?
No, well, they're multiple records.
Right.
And they're the same person.
Oh.
So that is normal. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, well, profile is they use unified profile in a certain way. So when you say profile, do you mean like if your website has a profile of a person?
The thing is, my brain is working and looking at Salesforce, and for me, the profile is security to the data. Right?
Oh, profile, you're thinking
I
of
think about the
profile.
user setup.
Yes, okay, yeah, this is different profile. Yes, yes.
Would this be more like a person, but with their Salesforce contact record tied with some like advertising analytics ID of them, plus another system that tracks some other engagement, social media profile, and then brings those three things.
Yes.
Each of those systems sees a contact record, whatever it is, but then you bring it into one harmonized.
Yes, exactly. So let's say we all have duplicate records in our Salesforce record, right? The same person, like we'll have a couple of different records about them. So each contact record, no?
Why?
Oh, that's good. That's good. If you know.
Well, I can give you an example. Yeah, I can give you an example.
An example, because maybe we do it and I don't realize.
This same person is allowed in our back end, what we sell, to log in with a different email than they interact with their salesperson.
Okay, that
Yeah,
will
so
happen.
then I have two records.
Super
I want to
user
know different.
Oh, yeah, and when I'm talking about contacts, not users, just
Yeah,
to be
that's the
clear.
thing that we can.
Contacts, like the people on our database,
This is-
well, they're all in there, but so there could be 3 contact records, right? They're all the same person, right? Each one will become a single individual record. That will happen, okay?
The unified, that's what you mean by unified?
Okay, well, I'm getting there. So first of all, individual records, okay, because you want to understand that first. Individual records. If there are 3 contacts, there'll be 3 individual records. Okay? Got that? Now, your website has a profile, a login, like something like that, has a record of a person, and you bring that person in. That becomes another individual profile. I'm sorry, another individual record. Okay, maybe social media interactions. There's a social media contact that is this person who's following you. They're another individual record. Okay, these are all individual records. The unified profile brings all those together into a unified profile. That is what in other records might be, other platforms might be called the golden record, like the actual person. Okay, so that's the data structure that they have for individuals. Okay, what's interesting is that they separate. This was interesting to me. they have separate tables for what they call party and separate tables for contact points. Email, contact point email is a separate table. Contact point phone is a separate table. Contact point address is a separate table. So these are all separate tables. They are not part of the individual table, right? So they are, because they know that data is coming from all over the place. And you might only have an email and have nothing. You might not have an individual record. You might have just a contact point email. You might have, so you have all these different bits of data. Right? An ID is like a driver's license or something official, really a unique ID. That's really what it is. Something where you have a unique ID, not the Salesforce record ID, but some other ID that you might use in your own system.
Is the unified profile itself a record somewhere, or is it just an abstract concept?
I'm not sure about that. I do know that the unified, when I've I have a link to it at the end in resources. It's reading Elliot Harper he's a really interesting guy, created an ebook on Data Cloud. I was kind of reading through that. And seemed to say that it's dynamic. It's dynamically defined. It's constantly changing. And that's what makes it different from a golden record that you'll find in other, I guess would that be a data warehouse that would have a golden record? Not sure about that. But there's this concept of golden record of like solid, like this is the person. But Salesforce, the unified profile is different. It's dynamic, dynamically defined, and it can change. So I'm not sure if it's an actual record.
Is the difference that if you have that one golden record, every time something happens, you have to kind of copy and paste it in there? And in this case, it's more like a relationship?
I think it's that. I think it's defined at the time when you, kind of like a formula field. You think formula field actually doesn't exist as data in the system, except for the formula. When you access the data, then it presents the results. Only the before save value, not the after. But then you have to create the formula in the flow, you'll be okay.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
That you have, for example, like for us, it's important to know who created the record, who modified the record.
Yes.
Can we still see that in?
Anything you bring in from other systems, you can see.
So you will have intelligence of the owner, or the assigned, record.
Right.
If it was Linda Burdine who has this account, for example, and let's say it's like I'm visualizing as maybe, like we have the need of archive data. Can we put archive data there?
Now, there's a bigger question of like how much data and what are you paying for? One of the things I've not dived into, which is what are the real costs of Data Cloud? It's expensive.
Oh, it's expensive?
Because there's a free version, of course. It's like any drug dealer. They want you to get started.
Yes, that's what's here.
Oh.
We cannot.
I was just a euphemism for
That is the idea.
But but I think it's reasonable because they want people to get to know what it is and is this worth doing for me? So for example, the free version doesn't come, you can't create segments, you can't create activations, right? You can't go out and push the data to some other system, at least that I know, but you can bring in data and try out the idea of unified profiles, right? You have to, what I haven't figured out is how to limit the size of what you're bringing in to avoid going over the 10,000 unified profiles.
So 10,000 unified profile under the pre-program, the tester.
Yeah.
And 2 licenses, I think that's unlimited and professional. Oh, sorry. I was just looking up, trying to see what is offered there. So just correct if I'm wrong. I was just reading it in the last presentation. If you have Sales and Service Cloud, it's up to 10,000 unified profiles. And 2 licenses.
To test something out.
10,000 profiles?
If you're a small business.
It's small.
Say 10,000 profiles is decent size for you. But if you're enterprise more, You start with 500,000 clients.
Yeah, maybe 100,000, hundreds of thousands.
It's similar what Marketing Cloud does, you know, they limit you how many, like if you work in parallel, it will ask you how many active contacts you want to use to send the email to. And you pay subscription based on stuff, what's the maximum number? I think similar things in the data cloud. They will, you have flexibility to choose your audience to be there, to leverage whatever you want to take advantage of them. And you pay by how much you want to use. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, does anyone know how you would limit, to make sure you're not going over the 10,000?
But it must, you know, I don't know for data cloud.
Yeah.
at this moment, But in Pardot, you have filtered when you say, I want those contacts that fit this
Right.
criteria.
I would
It
think
must be
so.
something like here.
I would think so.
We tested in Marcus.
Well, yeah, and you can only install it in the production. It only goes in production. And I don't know if that's because kind of like MuleSoft, like it doesn't actually, it's not actually there. Like it shows up there, but it's another platform. So it's just a way of seeing. But of course, if you actually have it interact with your data, then it can do things. But that's like a whole other.
Sounds exciting.
So yeah, so this is the harmonized part, which is, you know, identity resolution is a key concept, right? To figure out who this person is, or this record, who is it tied to, right? What unified profile does it get attached to? Okay. Now
You know,
activate,
in
yeah.
Salesforce, we have standard object called individual. It's the same idea. You can attach 3 contacts to one individual, 3 contact records.
Out of the box, you're saying?
Yeah. Nobody is using it, but.
I know, sorry, isn't it? I don't know.
That's the next topic for.
That's- Are you on that?
Yeah, that's true. I never used that.
That's wonderful.
Anyway, if you snoop out in the back end, and there is object sitting, nobody is using.
So I have to say this section is, I couldn't really tie it to data architecture. So I thought, well, I'll just talk about what they mean by activate. Right? So from what I can tell, there really are 3 ways of thinking about how do you act on the data. And I think this is what differentiates data cloud from like data warehouses and data lakes, is that the data is very much integrated with Salesforce. Like it's very much integrated. I was telling, I think it was Nash, I was telling before, after Data Cloud was inserted into our org, you know, you go into setup and you look at the contact object, and it has fields and then page layouts and so forth, right? After Data Cloud is in there, then there's Data Cloud fields and Data Cloud layouts, and then fields and page layouts. Like it's like it inserts itself into the standard objects. So that's interesting. Never mind what you're seeing in Flow, which is interesting. 3 kinds of things it seems like you can do with this. It makes sense to analyze, right? If you're now, of course, there are going to be companies that already have their own data lakes or data warehouses that have their own analytics engines, or their own analytics tools. So it's fine. But if you can use this to bring data together and then analyze it, if you're not already doing that. So you can actually run Salesforce reports, which is interesting. But maybe more likely to use things like Tableau or Marketing Cloud Intelligence, right? So you can bring the data into Marketing Cloud Intelligence from Data Cloud or Tableau, or whatever analytics engine you're using, Power BI. So they know you're not necessarily going to use Salesforce. Data actions. So if the data changes in some way, do this, right? You know, so the fact that it can create platform events, that's great. That's a hook into Flow, because then Flow can listen for those platform events, right? So that's very cool. The fact that you can trigger things happening in Marketing Cloud, so sending people into a journey, right? It has webhooks, so I guess that's the generic way of hooking into some other system that you just simply want to send. some data to some other system. If something happens, do this. What is the technical capabilities for someone to use webhooks? Who are writing webhooks?
But you need to have API so that listen to those hooks that's coming and execute that result. Start something. When somebody approves something, start something somewhere else. For you. You send few parameters that it knows where to start, or maybe it will start, then based on this, come back to read what is here for more information, and then maybe fix it. But it must be, or it's not just you send it in kind of in the dark and you hope something is happening. It's all structured.
Okay, so
You
it's
need
not
to know endpoints for that.
so it's not the same as a platform event, which is simply a bus waiting.
Even platform event is also structured because you need to have listener. Who
Yes.
is listening on this endpoint, on this event, a
Okay.
sub that is listening for what's
Right.
happening. You have somebody speeding sub and and as many people are listening as they decide to subscribe and listen,
Right.
and they decide to unsubscribe whenever they feel.
Right.
You don't control how many you can control, but you use sub because it's unlimited use.
Yeah.
You publish your service and somebody subscribe to it for free or for money, and then you don't worry how many it's scalable.
Yeah.
Similar.
So-
to but
So we use them in Apex classes to make calls out to third-party data.
Another opportunity from that, leveraging Salesforce service. You're in a trailblazer community, you
Mhm.
have an opportunity. You can load up Slack and go create this opportunity. That'd be the level.
Ah,
They would hook back into Salesforce and take that information in your Slack, they would automatically trigger create an opportunity for you.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so we do things like that where we write them into Apex classes and then call out.
From just Slack or something like that.
Okay.
But a sad question, how many of you
Don't
using
listen.
Slack? Like,
Seriously? No.
yeah, no, no.
What are you gonna use?
Yeah.
Not tied into Salesforce.
Yes, same.
We're a Microsoft-based house, and so
Oh,
Teams
yeah.
is what they use. Yes.
Same here.
Well, I don't know.
Unfortunately, I use Slack for my own personal,
Yeah.
but
Great
the
value.
business does not use. So anyway, so data actions, that's cool. I think that's one of the great functions. And then segmenting of data, right? If you're creating unified profiles, if you know who and the characteristics, all the different characteristics you might assign to someone with all this data, then creating segments, right? However you want to communicate back with people, creating segments to support that. What's cool about it is that you can use a drag and drop interface. So it's not, you don't have to be able to write SQL queries, right? Like you often do in Marketing Cloud if you want to do something more sophisticated. So it's kind of a nice feature. All right, so any questions about Activate or doing things with the data?
I'd like to know what the conversations around AI and data cloud, massive data. That's a massive question.
I don't know. And what have people heard about AI and data cloud?
It's a necessary first step.
Because
Because AI doesn't work unless your data is clean. So like our conversations are data cloud, data quality, then AI.
yeah,
Even if you don't have multi-cloud, you can just Salesforce.
I don't know that answer.
I mean, I think people assume that if you're using data cloud, you got multiple sources of data. You're gonna have data in different places and you're bringing it together.
And you can't make a decision, AI can't make a decision. And so everyone's been going, oh, I want AI, oh, but I wanted to include that, oh, I wanted to include that, I wanted to include that, and then they fix it.
We were having a conversation earlier about data cloud and how it could or maybe isn't intended to to help with migrations if you're trying to bring data from a certain party into Salesforce, but you're not quite ready yet. What if you plugged it into Data Cloud, be able to see how it behaves, how to work with your actual Salesforce instance, and when you're ready, you feel confident. Perhaps to migrate.
Yeah, this is when I'm seeing the most value, but I asked Salesforce experts and colleagues in company that try focusing on Data Cloud. And none of those agree with me. That's the same.
I mean, the data structure is different.
It is different, but if you want to make yourself ready for the future, you start with simple one source, Salesforce that is clean, and you bring it to Data Cloud, and then you are able to bring your other sources and consolidate those things together and turn on for the future down the road. If you miss opportunity to do this when you start in, then you go through the dedupes, all kind of
Yes.
things that you didn't do in the first place,
Yeah.
when you get the less resistance, the least resistance to do it. This is kind of because I'm dealing a lot of people migrate 30 years old systems to Salesforce.
Yeah.
And nobody's thinking about this. And there is all kind of issues that currently.
That was what my foot stomping was all about when we did our migration. It's like, no, we're not doing that. That was screwed up from day one.
Good job. Yeah.
Like, it just, you need to be set up to.
But it
function.
seems that it's not cheap to have this in place.
If you're
In
hundreds of,
parallel with your sales, because you're not leveraging them cost immediately. And they kind of postpone to wait for reason to invest money. This is just my. I maybe.
so do want to make clear, and I went back to the harmonized slide to talk about this, that Data Cloud does not dedupe your data. In fact, it does not touch or change. It's bringing in your data from other sources. Now, of course, you can have webhooks and you can have, basically.
I think Kevin's muted himself.
So if you're using the city of Ottawa, Zoom, or sorry, Wi-Fi, you have to connect after so many minutes.
Oh, you get that.
Can someone online speak? Try.
Yes,
Okay. All right. We can hear you now. Harry.
More than now.
Technical.
can you hear us though?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Good.
thank you. So I didn't realize that. I was using the public Wi-Fi in this building. And it seems to kick you out after a while.
Technical issue. We are coming back.
Do you want me to?
The last connected,
I'm not sure if it's an hour or 20 minutes.
so we're good for the.
Yeah, we should be. Once
I had connected before the
You need a
meeting.
hotspot, right?
Thank you. Who can look?
It's a public Wi-Fi, so.
Anyone could use it.
Okay. Oh, I probably need to connect to the meeting again.
They want you in their gyms and in their pools, spending money.
Do they have some cookies? That they want to give
You
like
know,
cookies?
you're right, I have tea, I must be in the there's a swimming pool here.
Oh.
I mean, I said, we're going to swim or what?
Let me back in again. I just connected again.
Okay.
Oh, there's plenty of chocolate.
All right, I just proved.
Yes, and I wasn't really, I said recreation or something, I said, okay, the company recreation, like, I wasn't.
Okay.
And I see this.
Back on. Okay, all right, good. All right.
You want to turn on your speaker one, just in case people want to speak.
Oh, so my mic is on
Okay.
and the speaker is coming out of
Yeah,
there. So I think we're okay. Okay. We're back. Okay, so I do want to finish up. I just had a couple more slides to share.
So you have a demo?
I can go ahead and, not really though.
Put it on the spot.
Yes. Where is my? Okay. Okay, so we were talking about segmenting. Oh, okay, so yes, so I do want to ask, does anyone have any specific questions about Data Cloud? I certainly want to answer any specific questions.
We're creating a profile record for every contact. Is that correct?
We're creating an individual record. That's what they're called, individuals.
That's what you did. So what's our storage concerns here as far as like Salesforce storage buffer? Like if you've got a boatload of contacts, you're now going to double your storage.
I think it's really about, so Data Cloud has its own pricing and it's definitely made for volume. But I haven't honestly really dug into the pricing. So if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Just practically, right, when you're setting it up, setting up Data Cloud or importing a new data source, just having not played with it myself, logically, you'd have to give it some sort of association, this new data source with an existing, whatever individual record, like how does it relate, for example, right? So if your foundation is the Salesforce contact record, that's the first data source you're bringing into Data Cloud. Right. Then we decide we want to track people's Instagram behaviors on our page. I don't know if that's an option, but yeah. You do that. You'd have to, I guess, you'd have to relate the person's Instagram profile with their Salesforce, right? Otherwise, how does it guess?
Right.
How does it know?
Right. So it's going to create separate records, and this is the thing where. You remember when they labeled this, they went from CDP to calling it Genie for a while? Yeah. And they went to Data Cloud. I like Data Cloud. I think Data Cloud makes sense. This is where, it's not necessarily magic. Like there have to be rules. Now, there can be fuzzy logic, especially with naming, like names are classic, right? People's names. But IDs, email addresses, handles, all that stuff. If you have nothing to match, I don't know how. So I've not tried to do this myself, but I've looked at identity resolution rules, right? Because that's what you have to do is create identity resolution rules. And I don't think it's magic. Right? You have to have rules.
Still computer. That's what you tell it.
Right. I mean, there is besides the fuzzy logic for certain kinds of data. I don't know what other magic there would be. The other magic would be is if we were still allowed to go out and buy a whole bunch of third-party data, and we would know your driver's your license plate number and your driver's license number, and we could buy all your data, but that's not allowed. So.
But there is one organization that has access to all.
The government. Yes.
You have to go Thank you, now license plate, because we the government.
Okay, there you go.
No, not.
I have a quick question. Like,
Yeah.
for the data cloud, you said you are exploring for your, what's the use, what's the problem you're trying to solve with it?
Right. So I think different people have different issues that they're trying to solve. And this was worked out before I ever came to my company. But the problem that they're trying to solve is, one is unified profiles. We are getting data pushed to us, we're an association. We have many different boards, basically, just organizations that are sending us their data. And we define the format of the data, but they're the ones creating the data. We each have to accept it. And we end up with, and people can join multiple boards. And so we have all these boards, and actually these are the same person. So there are a few ways of dealing with it other than data cloud, but one of the purposes is okay, we're going to use a unified profile. The other purpose is for us is Marketing Cloud. We're heavy users of Marketing Cloud. And so it's a nicer interface to use Data Cloud to define your segments and to do it in Marketing Cloud. People who are not admins can do it.
So the existing functionality like merge contact, can those solve the problem without Data Cloud? Like if you have
absolutely, if you just have duplicates in your Salesforce org, I wouldn't buy Data Cloud.
Right.
That's not, Data Cloud is not a deduping.
Right.
That's not its purpose.
Okay.
It sounds like partner orgs and stuff.
Yeah, certainly if you have multiple orgs, like another application, it's multiple Salesforce orgs. And you're not going to be merging those orgs. And you can even have actions based on that. Like you can have an action, something happens in one org, a platform event that another org picks up on. So it's kind of interesting.
That's a great point, because like a lot of organizations you talk to, I'm going through it now with one that I work with, like they go, oh, this part of our team is not on Salesforce, we want to bring it on Salesforce, right?
Yeah.
And you go, okay. And then there's all the like governance about getting this new team on Salesforce and then reconfiguring flows and stuff like new record types. And you think to yourself, well, I wish you could just have them on their own org. This would be a lot easier. But always the problem before was that like, okay, but then you want to stitch it together, and then at like an executive level, everyone goes, no, we need visibility across our BUs to cross-sell and upsell. No one ever gets to that, but
Yes.
but like they want to, right? So this would be an easier way to say, well, look, it's simpler just to have their own org and stitch it together rather than try to onboard people into the same org.
Yeah, even for analytics purposes, right? Now you might be bringing your Salesforce org you can have multiple Salesforce orgs coming into an analytics platform, or you can have them coming into Data Cloud.
Oh, interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, just very interesting use case.
You don't use Data Cloud for any kind of report.
Right now, we just got started.
But do they have in Data Cloud
There is,
reporting engine?
yes, you can use, but I've not actually done it, so I don't know much about like how does it compare? Like, I'm assuming that it's just kind of fits into the Salesforce reporting structure, because they do show up as they're like objects.
Entities on.
Do you know if there's such a thing as a user who is solely Data Cloud?
I don't think so.
We're trying to connect Salesforce data and some data from here and some data from here and some data from here. But the people that really want to see it all together, they're executives. And right now I have to give them a whole Salesforce license to see anything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go Tableau for that.
Yeah.
Tableau.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
It's coming, my Tableau implementation
Yes.
is getting ready, so.
yes, I think they definitely are, they're definitely presenting that as their best solution. Because Tableau is made for pulling in data from lots of places and being able to report on it. This way, it's all from Data Cloud, and then they have the custom integration with Tableau to be able to pull the data into Tableau.
Add something tricky, you know, put this underneath Tableau.
Yeah, I would think so. Because I'll say that I've not done
You
it.
have to define the relationship, right? That's the thing.
Well,
It's
yes.
so fun to me. I keep getting this thing with it, well, they told us Salesforce could integrate this and this, so get. Okay, but you have to make decisions about, and yeah, and then,
People are using different
Where-
email addresses, and
yeah.
how do I know this is the same person?
When you say this, what is it actually talking
And we can't have people looking at it and deciding, or is that what we're gonna do, is have people look at it and make a decision? How are we gonna decide?
about?
So I wasn't gonna spend much time on demo, because this is like I wasn't gonna go into that much detail, honestly. But you see that these are the kind of objects that exist, so data streams, these are the streams of data coming in. Right, and right now, this is just Salesforce itself. So which is kind of weird. Some people think, okay, so you're bringing Salesforce data into Data Cloud. Yes, because Data Cloud is another platform. Right? So we do have to define streams of data, and then you match it up to, and I'm not going to go into all this, because this is only useful if you actually are using Data Cloud. You into data lake objects, you know, you're defining data lake objects, but then and this is more like as they're coming in, you think of it that way, the form that they're coming into. But then you have your own data model objects. So you might have data lake objects, but you might have multiple that really are the same data model object. So you might have, because you might need to match what's coming in, right? So you might have different kinds of individuals records that are coming in, but then your data model is the canonical model, right? You're bringing into, okay, so that step narrows it down. There are fewer data model objects, more data lake objects.
Model allow that piece of data into the lake, basically.
No, the data streams bring it into, the data streams are what define how data comes in to the data lake objects.
And this is something you map during implementation, or is
Yes.
this like out of the box mapping?
Well, there are, what do they call them? There are, it's like, you know, ready-made, preset, like Salesforce.
Right. Where you account to account.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yes, we should wrap up. Yes, absolutely. So we're done. So there's of course all kinds of rules that have to be created to then take the data and do things with it. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. And like I said, we're just getting started. So I'll let you know how it goes 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you for the topic, and hope everyone has something to take away from today. And as we know, this is the last meeting for this year, and we just hope everyone have a relaxed setting and enjoy yourself and enjoy your holidays. Before everyone leaves, we have some swags for today to draw, and I will have a Fred to pick.
Sure.
Yeah. You can't pick one.
I don't know. I think I marked it. Did I mark that one? Timoteo?
All right.
All right.
Come to pick one.
You get to pick it.
Yes.
And pick the other one.
Rafa, you want to pick a name?
Oh, I want to pick mine.
All right.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna pick, no,
Yeah.
for what?
Oh,
that's-
okay. Let winner. Let the winner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
Patrick.
Patrick. There you go.
All right.
Before you take your stuff, pick name. Pick name first. Yeah. For the next person. The next one is.
Your present.
Yeah, he will.
I'm getting multiple directions. Who says to choose my present first or present first? Well, then Dave, you're good
Didn't
for
you
it.
join this present first?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Well,
Yeah, we
This
see
is the cup, the mug.
Oh, mug.
Okay.
mugs.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the mug.
Okay, grab the mug. Okay, so next.
Linda.
Yes, the happy face more. I put a little happy face and he made fun. The happy face won't make it win it.
Congratulations.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Who wants to win? Oh, we'll get the next one then. So can I choose my prize?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's these two, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the little book. Thank you. Thank you very much. So the great winner is, I hope I can pronounce it correctly. Stratis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, thanks. Here we go. And yeah, we still have some like treats and food here. Yeah, enjoy yourself. And for the next one, January, we will have January 17th, right?
Yeah, January, Wednesday, no,
Yeah.
Tunis pasture, in the Ottawa building. Yeah, there is a car stops company that is currently public sector supplier in town. Yeah, and they will host meeting.
Yeah.
We will be
Anyways.
there.
Yeah.
No,
Live,
and meeting is already published yesterday, we can subscribe. I will talk about next great thing after data cloud. There is something that Kevin always wanted to do, but now that he's retiring, I'm so sorry, just now. This is customized without coding.
Anything without coding.
Anything without coding.
In Salesforce, like that.
And,
Smart ones as high as I wanna go.
so we will have my colleagues from Salesforce community made up for Salesforce indicators. They will tell us how we can take advantage of it and use it. It's free app built by community for community.
Who's presenting?
It's going to present creator of the app, one of creators, me, right? Yes. In last March, I was participating in Salesforce for the land open sourcing. And this is one of us that open source is maintaining and improving every period. They need to manage it. Yeah.
Before you go, can I just go and take a picture of all of you?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
that's great.
Because it's so small here.
Yes.
Take a picture. You can check if there-
What we need to do. Social things, right?
Start.
Can I be recording from the last session?